and welcome to my backyard shire. I will have a full-length video later on in the month showing you the full thing. But anyway, I just wanted to jump in and say last year Celestria and I created a book tag called the One Tag to Rule Them All. This year, since I've already done that tag and I can leave that one linked, this year I wanted to put a twist on it. And instead of picking books to fill the prompts, I actually want to pick movies to fill the prompts and see what happens. So I haven't prepared this in advance. Hopefully it works out. So the first question, or the first prompt, is Hobbits, a character who is a real homebody. Now I have to take my mind outside of Middle-earth because obviously that's the first thing I think of, but a homebody character in a movie. I'm going to say Angela Bennett from The Net, played by Sandra Bullock. She is the main character of this movie, and she's very much a home person. She has some friends online. She even works from home on the computer. She does kind of have this one trip that she keeps putting off. It's almost like she wants to be more adventurous, so she books this trip, but then she keeps putting it off and putting it off. Until she finally actually does go and some stuff happens. That's what the movie's about. But yeah, like she has all of her food delivered to her door. Like she really doesn't leave her house if she doesn't have to. And I really like that movie a lot. The next prompt, Elves, a character that does not age normally. Okay, well, the first one that comes to mind is Tuck Everlasting. I know it's originally a book. I've never read the book. I've only watched the movie, and I have only watched it like well over 10 years ago. Like it's been a long time since I've watched it, but I just know that there's the element, I'm not going to spoil it, but the element of someone not aging properly. So there's that. The next prompt, Dwarves, a stubborn or very loyal character. Let's see. Maybe I'll go with Captain Kirk and Spock from the Star Trek movies. Yes, there are TV series as well, but I've only watched the movies, and I really like the movies. But I'm gonna go with them. I'm kind of using them as a duo, like a loyal duo to each other, because they do go through a lot of things, and sometimes the loyalty seems to waver, but at the end of the day, they're always loyal to each other, and the way that they develop that loyalty started as strangers, conflicting strangers, and it developed and grew, and they built a really good friendship. The next prompt is Race of Men, a book with diversity in it. So a movie with diversity in it. Well, especially most recently, lots of movies would have great diversity in it, but let's go with Guardians of the Galaxy, because the group that we are following in Guardians of the Galaxy are completely diverse. Every one of them is like a different species or a different race in the universe. So that's pretty diverse, I would say. You know, I mean, there's only one female character, but overall, I feel like it's a pretty diverse cast. Characters. The next prompt, Wizards, a wise character. Okay, the first one that pops to mind, once again, is originally a book, but that would be The Giver. So the Giver himself, I would say, is very wise. He is considered the wise man of their society. He's the one that they go to because he holds all of the memories. In this dystopian world, they've sort of been cleansed, if you will, of all of the negative of our world and the things that separate us, the things that make us unique and different. This society has become kind of all same. They value sameness, so everyone's the same. And then I don't know how, it's through sci-fi, it's science fiction. So in some way, they put all of the memories and the bad things of humanity's past onto one man called the Giver. So that makes him kind of wise, I guess, in that he can see where humanity can go or has gone, and how this new society is supposed to function. Of course, there's more going on there, so you'll have to read it or watch it, but it's a very good story as well. The next prompt is Gollum, a book with a sympathetic villain. Ooh, good question. So a movie with a sympathetic villain. Let's go with the Taken series. The way I like to watch Taken is from the cable edit version, so that it takes a lot of the language and some of the scenes out. But I digress. That series, you could call our lead character a villain because he's very violent and destructive to many people around him, but his motivations are to save his daughter in the first one. So I don't know if that would count as a villain. I don't know. He does a lot of bad things. So yeah, but for a sympathetic reason. I don't know if that would be considered the same thing, but we're gonna go with that one. Next prompt, Eagles, a book with an animal in the plot. Oh, many. Let's go with Alvin and the Chipmunks. Let's go with something super random. And I mean, chipmunks are in the title. They're the main characters. And it's Alvin and the Chipmunks. So I really like, in the first movie, I actually like the movie, but I really like the music that the chipmunks are singing in the first movie. I think is a pretty good score or soundtrack or whatever. But anyway, yeah, I'll go with that one. Beorn, a character with mistaken alternate identity. So I have to make sure I'm not spoiling anything with this choice, but let's go with Now You See Me. This is a very fun movie, and it's very much in the illusionist world, where this group of strangers who are all in their own right separate illusionists, somebody mysterious brings them together to make them a group, to put on this worldwide fantastical once-in-a-lifetime show that does stuff that no one can figure out how in the world they did it. And the whole first movie is trying to figure out who is running the show, who's calling the shots, who put this all together. And it's a really fun ride. Let's go with Jafar from Aladdin. I think it's pretty safe to say he's a sinister character. The next prompt, Merry and Pippin, an iconic duo. Ooh, so many. Okay, I'm gonna try to stick with movies and not TV shows, but that will make it harder because I feel like there are more TV show duos than movie duos. Let me know in the comments below what kind of movies you think of that have iconic duos. Found it. Monsters, Inc. with Sully and Mike. They are very iconic, and they are definitely a duo, a really fun friend pairing. So we're gonna go with Mike and Sully from Monsters, Inc. Next one, The Ring, a book with a significant object as part of the plot. Ooh, right away, National Treasure, because they have the Declaration of Independence is basically the catalyst for the entire adventure of the show, if not the entire duology even. But yes, Declaration of Independence, National Treasure duology, such a good movie set. I have not watched the TV series, let me know if it's worth watching, but I really love those two movies, so good. Hobbiton, a book showing a simple, quiet lifestyle. And the one that comes to mind, honestly, is The Lake House. Now, it is a time travel story, so it's not like, I guess it takes a bit of the slow pace out of it because there's time travel, but the way that I'm connecting the two is at the lake house, it's basically this house on a lake, as you would imagine, and there's like nobody around. It's very beautiful and scenic, and it's just a lovely place to be. And the story goes that this woman lives in this lake house for a while, and then she moves out, and then this man moves in, and then somehow the mailbox connects them through letters that they end up sending to each other, but she is like 3 years in the future or something. Yeah, so it's cool. It's a very neat story. I think this is also originally a book, possibly, but I really like this one. It's a very cute story and very slow moving, cozy vibes. I like it. The Fellowship, a found family. Now again, I could say Guardians of the Galaxy, but we already used that one, so let's find another one. Right off the hop, I think we're gonna go with The Greatest Showman, because if you haven't watched it, it's a very good movie, but it does romanticize real events that were not lovely. So just keep that in mind. It's not an accurate representation of P.T. Barnum and his circus. So if you can separate the two, reality and fiction, it's a very good movie. And anyway, P.T. Barnum puts on this circus and he gathers a bunch of misfit people who aren't accepted in society, and he puts on a circus showcasing their uniqueness. And it kind of bonds them as a group and they become family with each other. So I'm gonna go with that one. Next prompt, The Two Towers, a book with a significant landmark in the story or setting. Now I'm sure there's gonna be lots of those as well, so let's see what we can find. The first one that comes to mind is actually Man on a Ledge, because this movie starts off, as you can imagine, with a man who's standing on a ledge of a building, a very tall skyscraper building, and then obviously those around him believe he's willing to jump. He says he's willing to jump, so they have to try and talk him down. And that's basically the whole movie. There obviously are reasons and stuff that happens, but yeah, the building itself would be fairly significant, I would think. The next one, Return of the King, a book with a royalty element. Oh, lots of those. Actually, the first one that I thought of was The Prince and Me. So it's a romance. It's your standard romantic falling in love with a prince story. But it holds a special place in my heart because I watched it as a teenager and I loved it, and I would still enjoy it today. So we'll go with The Prince and Me. The Silmarillion, a book that spans many years. Again, that could be quite a few. Let's go with The Time Traveler's Wife, because again, this is a time travel movie, but it does follow a romance where the man is time traveling, but he's doing it involuntarily, so he gets jumped through time at will and he has no control over it, and so it's very difficult to have that romance develop when he's constantly being jumped back and forth in time. But yeah, it does span basically the woman's whole life, where he pops in and out of because he has no control. So we'll go with that one. Potatoes, a book with memorable food in it. This one should be fun. Let's go with Alice in Wonderland, because of the Eat Me squares or cookies or whatever they are. I can't remember. Tarts? I think they're Eat Me tarts. That's pretty memorable because without the tarts she couldn't shrink and grow, and that's pretty vital to the story, so we'll go with that. The next one is All That Is Gold Does Not Glitter, a character who is more incredible on the inside than he seems at first. I'm gonna go with Captain Phillips from the movie Captain Phillips, because at the start of the movie, and yes, it is based on true events, but at the start of the movie, Captain Phillips is a captain of a cargo ship. He's not really trained for anything in the military realm. He's not really trained for hostage negotiation. He is a ship captain. And in the movie, their ship gets overtaken by Somalian pirates, and Captain Phillips is put in a lot of dangerous situations, and the way that he deals with it and saves his crew is pretty incredible. So, You Shall Not Pass, a series that shouldn't have continued as far as it did. For example, movies 1 and 2 were great, but 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever were awful. What series do I think? Oh, I know right off the bat. Divergent. I really liked the first movie. Oh, I know another one. Okay, so I'm gonna go Divergent, because I didn't care for book movies 2 and 3, Insurgent and Allegiant, but I really like Divergent. Another series that came to mind was the Pirates of the Caribbean. You guys, where on earth did that series go? I didn't even like the second movie. Like, I liked the first one a lot, but anything beyond the second movie is just like, what is this trying to be? Like, I don't like it at all. It's a standalone movie in my mind. I Am No Man, a book movie with an unexpected twist. Again, I have to make sure I stay away from spoilers, but let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, let's just go with the whole Avengers series. Like, we'll say like the first 21 movies or whatever it was, until Endgame. Let's just say those movies as a whole story unit, I would say has an unexpected ending, especially from where we start. So I'll leave it there. And the last one, Rings of Power, a controversial book or movie, controversial movie. So which movie do let's say a movie that I like that's fairly controversial. Ooh, that's gonna be tricky. I don't know if it's really controversial, but let's just say I'm conflicted about it myself. And we're gonna go with The Prince of Egypt because I really love that movie, but it's not biblically accurate. So that's where I'm conflicted. It's meant to be a Bible story. It's not meant to be anything else, so it should be true to the Bible, but it's not quite all there. So I'm not sure how controversial that is, but I guess maybe I just don't tend to like controversial movies. I don't know. Maybe there are more that I'm not thinking of, but I'm gonna go with The Prince of Egypt, and that is gonna wrap up the one tag to rule them all tag, I guess. It originally was a book tag, and again, I'll leave my video, and I'll leave Celestria's video as well, linked in the description below. So this was my take on it, my twist on it, making it movie based. So let me know if you plan to do this video on your channel, and if you don't have a channel, let me know what some of your answers would have been in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in whatever comes next. Bye!